Hi everybody. Well, here we are again. We have some things to talk about before we start flipping cards around. First of all, we have a guest appearance by Mason. So he'll be helping us today, hopefully, and not be disruptive. He's already knocked over 2 decks of cards, but I wasn't even in the room, so that's okay. All right, the other thing is we got to keep talking loud because apparently there's stuff that can't be heard, so I have to be more in my public voice. All right, we're going to talk about Coinbase today because yesterday, there's so much to say. Yesterday we did a read on the Fed, and I said what I needed to say. Now, any anons that are watching, this is not just a card read. This is a decode. So there are things that come up that I censor from saying because it needs to be out in public. But this is also he's leaving. This is also a decode. So wow, it's really warm. So remember that when I say things, there are things I'm not saying that are also important, and you got to look at the cards and you got to let it speak to you, because even when I do these reads, I'm experiencing them. Go. I'm experiencing them as I read, but when I'm finished and I go back and I review it, I see the show for the first time. And as I'm experiencing things, I'm saying things, but when I watch the show, sometimes, no, all the time, I understand things in a way I didn't while I was doing the reading. So I'm a channel for spirit, and my ego is not involved here. I am a channel for spirit, and they tell me what to say and what not to say. And when I don't say things and I hold back, it's because there are reasons for that. So remember, this is a decode, and you have to actively decode this to get the full message. And sometimes there are layers of messages. So I may deliver one, but there may be 3 or 4 in the reading. So just keep that in mind. This is a general reading. I'm reading about what they call mundane things, which is something like Coinbase, the Federal Reserve. I'm not reading about someone's love life. I'm reading about mundane topics because they're relative to finance and Bitcoin and humanity. But anyway, I needed to clarify that because I think that needed to be stated, and anybody who's watching consistently needs to hear that message, because there's more here than what first appears, but we got to get it out in public, and in order to do that, it has to be presented in a certain way. Okay. Having said that, we've done our prayer, and our space is clear. The other thing I heard yesterday was that the fact that Aries is such an influence right now, and I know 2 Aries people that I like quite a lot, who I met just recently, but Aries energy is in your face. It's in your face. It's like a rat terrier. They're ever vigilant and ever ready to jump on and start the fray. And I'm not saying they're combative, but it's a very alert, intense energy. And that influence is influencing everyone now because the eclipse was in Aries, and Mercury is retrograde, which always kind of skews and stirs up the waters. So the impure or more darker side of humans, and everybody's got one, the darker side leaves holes for the influence to come in. So people are going to be more angry, and they're going to be more competitive, but also more combative. And they're going to be more aggressive. So if you're experiencing that, just be aware that you have the ability to temper the situation just by being there, just by existing in that space. You are influencing what happens. So if you come in and you're calm, you're going to take it down a notch for everybody. But I know my son was trying to trigger me yesterday, and I told him I'm at such a place of peace at the moment. There's nothing you can do to change that, so stop trying. That's kind of where I was coming from. Anyway, Coinbase. So I used to have an account. I still have an account with Coinbase, and I still hold something in there. I'm not going to mention it, but I used to use Coinbase all the time as my primary source of everything. And that's where I initially bought my Bitcoin, and then I eventually moved my Bitcoin. But Coinbase has a lot of influence, and they're holding for all the ETFs. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why Coinbase, who I think is questionable as far as their loyalties and integrity. There was something early on about the price went up and nobody could sell, or the price went down and nobody could buy. And they were blocking transactions. They were blocking people from, gaining wealth or being able to use strategy in their finances. And I thought that was questionable. I remember distinctly having a conversation about it with someone who clearly had the dogma. And they were telling me this story about, oh, well, it's this. And I was like, no, I've heard different and you're being misled. But there was no way they were going to open their mind to that. They were the authority and I didn't know anything. So anyway, which is often the case in my life, it seems. Anyway, so we're going to read about Coinbase because I don't understand why there's BlackRock Bitcoin sitting in Coinbase. That makes no sense to me. But I guess BlackRock, seeing itself as an entity, wanted to use Coinbase just like the average person that steps up and uses Coinbase. That's insane. BlackRock, come on, come on. I'm not going to go down that path. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to read for Coinbase. Can you see those? There you go. Okay. Wow, that's not even the tarot. I don't have to fit in. Coinbase. I don't have to fit in. Well, I guess not. There's special rules for them. We don't see them, but there's special rules for them. Seems that way, doesn't it? I used to work at a place, and early on I said to one of the employees, yeah, there's people here that are untouchable. She said, what? And I said, there are untouchables. You can identify them. They walk around. They're really calm. They don't care about getting fired. Everybody else is sort of on edge. They're trying to prove themselves. These are the untouchables. They walk around, and they've been there so long. Yeah. So maybe Coinbase is one of those untouchables. Like Fed yesterday, yeah, they got all the money. They don't care what anybody says. They got all the money. Well, it seems like Coinbase is working up that kind of a lather. They got all the money. They got all the ETF money. And that's Bitcoin, if it truly is Bitcoin. So, let's see. What's going on with Coinbase? What do you have to tell us about Coinbase? Because I really want to know. Reunion of Souls. That's so interesting that we get that card so frequently. You watch me, and I move these cards. I do other readings. And yet, we keep consistently showing up with that card. It's just craziness. All right. Moonology. Moon, what are you going to tell me about Coinbase? Coinbase. It's got a nice kind of name. They often do. Children's Fund. Sounds nice. Sounds like something a good person would want to be part of. Okay, Moonology. Bing, 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 ricochet rabbit. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Well, that's crazy, because we got that yesterday with the Fed. Are we recognizing a pattern here? You know, it seems kind of that way. It seems like these big institutions aren't going to go anywhere, even though we want to see them crash and burn, and even though we know they're dead. Dead men walking. Because, I don't know why. I think it's like a security blanket. It's like the human population can't let go. And I think they do enough projections to see how things are going to spin out that they know that if they rip these institutions from us, a lot of the population will just melt down, and it's not a good story. That's why they're still around, even though they're irritating us. Me. They're irritating me. Okay. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. I got a lot to say today. Full moon in Pisces. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? Here we go again. If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make concerted effort to move toward your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate. Avoid substance abuse. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numerous Piscean energies that have no borders. So feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. Well, Coinbase, there you go. That's your message. I still think we're in a place of illusion. Pisces, illusion. Floating around in the void. It also seems like they live in a place that the rest of us don't live in. They exist in a place where there are no rules. They don't have to follow any plan other than, just the fuckery that they're generally up to. Business as usual, I guess. I don't know. It just seems very odd, but if they're a bad organization, then maybe the ETF is a bad situation, and they had to put it somewhere, and they certainly didn't want to put it with Michael Saylor because he's almost angelic. So maybe they needed a place to put it, and it was either that or Binance, and Binance already came up as bad, so they couldn't have ETF publicly go to an organization that had already proven to be a bad place. So maybe Coinbase was the other option because it was big enough. I think a lot of this is in the reveal too. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. Like I said, I say the things that come to me because they need to be said. And sometimes I don't get the message because you know what? After I say it, I forget about it. I don't even remember saying it. Talk to my son. Haha. Anyway, okay. So how's Coinbase showing up? Page of Swords. Well, look at that. It's a new place. I guess it's a relatively new company considering it's, digital assets. That's a new thing. A detective, though. So, shepherd, maybe. Diligence. Experiment. Okay, so Coinbase could be an experiment. and they also could be the shepherd. So that makes sense that it's the Page of Swords. Read between the lines, figure out the truth. I don't know. I don't know what's going on at Coinbase. That's why we're doing the read. So they're showing up as a detective or a shepherd. New on the scene, young man. Okay, what's crossing Coinbase right now? Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. So I guess, you know, they're looking to do what everybody, it's the struggle, the good and evil thing again. I think Coinbase is if you go by the law of one, I think they're less than 50%. I'll say it like that, okay? And they may be having a struggle, especially with the energies right now. You know, I mean, they're very, like I said, they're really difficult because of the Aries situation and the eclipse. But, and the less than 50s are also practicing end game tactics. But they're hoping the wheel is going to flip in their direction. So everybody's trying to push the wheel. The good guys and the bad guys, we're all trying to push this wheel. So they're just one of the names in the fray. Okay, where they're coming from? A place of strength, a conqueror, standing their ground and staying in the game. So they must be doing something right to hold their place, or they've got the right kind of backing. The right kind of people are fortifying them. All right. What's the best case scenario? Where do they want to go? Oh, maybe they want to keep us trapped? Yeah, they want to hold everybody back with the illusion of holding everything. I think they're trying to maybe trap everyone into thinking that the ETFs are a good thing and that they're supporting them. Maybe the ETFs are thinking, oh yeah, we're going to do this, and then they gave it to Coinbase and it's a trap. I don't know. I usually don't see this card in that fashion, but today that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like pulling people in and then trapping them. And they're not really trapped, but they think they are. They're stuck and they're trapped. So I think that's what they're trying to do, is trap. Okay, where are they going? Well, that's interesting, the Two of Wands. So they're thinking about what they're going to do next. They've come from a position of strength, and they want to stay there, but they don't know how to do that. They're still working the strategy. They're hoping to push the wheel, and they're watching and learning, and they're seeing what's out there. Now, considering it's a pretty young company, there may not be a lot of old ideas. It may be a lot of young ideas, which is why we're showing up as the Page of Swords, because they've got their head in the game and they're watching everything. So that could be what's going on. All right, what kind of resources and tools do they have available? Well, the Knight of Pentacles. They're not the King of Pentacles, but they're the Knight of Pentacles. And though they're slow moving, it's still about Pentacles. So it's still about the money. So that's appropriate for them to show up as the Knight of Pentacles. Let's see. Knight of Pentacles, slow moving, deliberate, useful, responsible, interesting, and integrity. So the tools that they have are that they have integrity. I guess they can use that as a tool. Do they use it? I don't know. Sometimes you have tools you don't need. We'll have to see where this goes. And they don't have to fit in. Reunion of souls. I don't know. Maybe it's a reunion of dark souls. After all, these birds are dark. reunion of souls. It doesn't say what kind of souls. That's interesting, and it's a dark horse. Okay, so how does Coinbase see themselves in relation to where they sit at the moment? Strength. They see themselves as very strong. So this being chosen for the ETF has put them in a position of strength. They like this idea, it's a good thing, and they're happy. Could be why they're thinking about what to do next, because this is a big achievement as far as they're concerned. And it moved them into a place of security. Maybe they were waggling in the wind, and then the ETFs came along and they said, we'll hold Bitcoin with you. And now they're holding each other up. That could be. And, you know, they might be a house of cards. But they're holding each other up. That might very well be. I don't have to fit in. I could do whatever I want. Rules don't apply to me. All right. Anyway, these monsters could be holding hands. All right. What environment do we find ourselves, or do they find themselves in? What environment does Coinbase see? Anxiety? Really? They're coming from a place of strength, and yet they find themselves in a place of anxiety? Well, that could be that this is creating the environment of anxiety. The anxiety could be because there's a rug pull in the future. Shout out to a great show, by the way, that's on Thursday, which is, I think, today. Okay, anyway, the environment is one of nightmares and sleepless nights and anxiety and stress and gut-wrenching. So I think that's kind of where we're sitting. I think a lot of people are doing a lot of things, and the finance market is doing whatever the hell. It's heavily manipulated. It's all manipulated, but there are some more than 50%ers, more than 50%ers that are also in the game and also have a hand on big institutions. That could be why Michael Saylor is doing what he's doing, because Coinbase couldn't be trusted, because I think of their association with Reunion of Souls, their association with the fiat system and places like BlackRock that have a darker history. Okay. Anyway, so what's the next card? The hopes and fears. Hopes and fears are coming together. Two of Cups, a love affair. They're hoping that that this union between BlackRock and Coinbase will be a love affair, and that it'll fix everything, and they'll come out on top, and that the world will have to just deal with them as who they are, and that's what they're hoping for, and that's okay. They could do that. Okay. Free will and all. Okay, let's see. Well, I think they're looking at one thing and not seeing some other stuff. So they may be dreaming about things, being romantic, but not being realistic. If they're looking at a relationship, it could be they want it to be romantic. This is what this card was saying. Remember, if they're looking at a relationship and they're thinking it is romantic, they're not looking at it realistically. And I think realistically, they're looking at this romantic relationship that's going to hold them up. And they're not seeing these other things. And a house of cards and rug pull. So I think that's what we're looking at here. I almost feel like this confirms the fact that this is a setup, I think that they're wanting this not to be a setup, but it seems like that's what it is from what the cards are telling me. Like I said, I'm just a messenger. I just tell you what I see here. That's the energy I'm feeling. It's pretty consistent with what the cards are showing up as. I think they're young enough company that they haven't been through enough ups and downs and cycles that they feel like they can just hit the ground running and life is good. And like I said, I don't have to fit in. I don't have to fit in because Coinbase is sort of a new thing. It's a new thing. So they don't have to fit in because it's new. There are not precedents that they need to follow. I mean, in terms of business, yes, but I mean, they're sort of a very unique business. All right, mountain clouds and a doghouse. Well, dog. So there's loyalty. This is usually stability, but it can be an obstacle. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's the moon. Illusions. Dreams, intuition, illusions, romance. Illusions. This is usually loyalty and friendship. 21. Obstacle, blockages, delays, procrastination. Yeah. So blockages are an illusion. Or delays and blockages are the illusion. What's our dog? Oh, and it's in Spanish. Loyal friend, trusted advisor. Loyal friend, trusted advisor. So the blockages are the illusion to the trusted advisor. The blockages are the illusion. Well, this is the illusion. It's the trap. That's the illusion. To the loyal advisor. So I think maybe the loyal advisor uses this trap. Oh, Coinbase is the loyal advisor. And they use the illusion of obstacles used by Coinbase. Obstacles and blockages are used by Coinbase. And that's Coinbase. Yeah. Or maybe they're being experienced by Coinbase because it's this. Obstacles and blockages are being experienced by Coinbase. Yeah, could be. I think they're putting some up and I think they're experiencing some. They keep coming up strong. This guy's strong too. Maybe they don't know. Maybe Coinbase thinks this is all real. They don't know about the... Coinbase is setting traps, but maybe this is a trap for Coinbase, and they don't know. Well, anyway, that's some ideas to think about. Like I said, I just say what I need to say, whatever that may be, and then I come back and I watch it, and I go, wow. And then I get the cohesive, comprehensive thing. But in the meantime, I'm just flipping out cards, because that's the way this works. It's like those people that channel voices and they go into a trance. Sometimes they hear what's being said and sometimes they have no idea. They have to go back and listen to the video, the recording or the video, because they don't even know what they said, because they're somewhere else doing something else. Not that I'm somewhere else doing something else, but I sort of am. I left my car running yesterday and now I'm out of gas, so that's the kind of stuff I'm doing because my head is not in three-dimensional at the moment. Okay, Dragonfly. Coinbase is Dragonfly. Back to the air. I'm going to say that's the internet. I just feel like whatever cards we get that are air cards, it's about the internet. It's about the web. It's about being in the air or being on the air. Maybe it's about YouTube, you know. Could be. Could be about YouTube. All right. Bee, vulture, hummingbird. Wow, dragonfly, you're like close to the end. Cool. Crow. Dragonfly, master of light and illusion and the mind. The dragonfly is, you know, and that's funny, I usually put it down here, and today I put it up here. The dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder in all. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless or still, dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. Sees clearly, joyful, magical. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of deception at play here, and there are a lot of victims. So not only are the victims the people of humanity that are interacting with Coinbase, these folks here caught in the illusion, caught in the trap of Coinbase, but there are other things at play, bigger games at play, like the BlackRock and the Coinbase and the ETF and Coinbase marriage. Because when we think about the Four of Cups, we think about focus on the right thing and fortitude, but we also think about focus on the wrong thing and you're missing the good stuff, or paying attention to a deal when there's good deals, but this one's going to go bad. This card is upside down. So that's important. That's really important. All right, let's read the official definition of the Four Cups upside down, because maybe I need to say something I'm not saying. The inability to see a gift when presented with one. Apathy, reluctance, and fatigue imagine problems. That's right side up, okay? Upside down, omen, prophecy. Omen, prophecy. Omen, prophecy. So I think there's bigger stuff at play here. Like I said about Trump, he's walking the signs of the cross. There are things that are literally written in stone, maybe in Sanskrit, that have to play themselves out. And these behemoths, BlackRock and Coinbase, with this huge amount of influence, have become married. I think that should draw everyone's attention. And I don't know, you know. I was married to somebody, and I don't know that it was always a safe situation for me to be in. So sometimes you marry somebody and they're deceptive. Sometimes they play little games with you and you're, you know, unaware of what's happening. Anyway, I would think that maybe Coinbase, okay, here's the other strategy. When things are humming along and things are going good, sometimes forces will present obstacles and things so that they can show up with the solution. We've seen that strategy before. Obstacles could be an illusion, and Coinbase could be seeing things that are an illusion. They're an illusion. They're an illusion. Maybe Coinbase is seeing things as an illusion. They're still on the honeymoon. And it was never really a marriage. It was a business deal to get what we want. Well, that's not uncommon. We've seen that before too. Anyway, I don't know. I'm concerned for the people that involved in Coinbase, but I think Coinbase is a good young company that is being either roughshod riding over them, or they're entering into things they don't realize that they're doing. Maybe they're a bunch of technical people that don't realize there's a spiritual world out here. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. And this card was pulled for Coinbase. So maybe this is a warning for Coinbase. Isn't that funny? Coinbase. Maybe this is a warning for them that they need to have their wits about them. I don't know. This is the card read. We'll see what happens, but here it is today. Thank you, and like, share, and subscribe if you will. See you tomorrow.